Today I'll teach you how to turn your study into a literal game, a psychology hack to cut your study time in half, and lastly, a top secret superpower that top students use without even knowing. Let's be real, most of us would rather be playing games or watching Netflix instead of studying, but we've got to put in the hard work to get the results we want. That's why we've got to look at how can we make studying fun. To me, gamifying was really key. To gamify my studying, I use an app called Gizmo, which is perfect for turning memorization into an actually fun activity. You just take a PDF off your notes or maybe your textbook and upload it to Gizmo. It then creates flashcards which you can then do and earn XP. For me, I became really competitive with my friends to see who can have the most XP. This motivated me to study and get the results I wanted. By the way, this is also an example of active recall because you're not just passively reading notes, you're actively engaging with the content, which leads to better connections and a better performance in your final exams. With memorization and studying now a fun aspect of your life through gamification, it's important not to get carried away. That leads us on to tip 2, Parkinson's Law. Have you ever noticed when completing homework or doing an assignment, it takes 10 hours instead of maybe 5 minutes? That's because work expands to fill the time it's allocated. If you've given it 10 hours, it will take 10 hours. So, how can we apply this to our study routines? Next time you get a bit of work, break it down into smaller tasks and give those tasks time limits. Then, when you sit down to do it, set a timer and get the work done for that task within the time you set. Not only will you be able to break down goals into actually achievable components, but you'll start to notice that you can achieve those goals faster. And that's what it's all about here, becoming more efficient so you can get the outcomes you want. I know this next bit is about to be controversial, but Parkinson's Law is what leads me to believe that starting an assignment the night before is the best time to start it. That's because it can only take that night. It's due the next day. You've got to get it done. So keep that in mind the next time you have an assignment, and maybe it will save you quite a bit of time. Last but not least, study hack 3. The superpower top students have without even knowing. It's called metacognition, the process of being aware of how one's brain works. I know what you're thinking, what's the point in knowing how my brain works? That seems pretty useless. But it's the reason why so many top students are able to go into exams, see unknown questions, and are able to answer them just like that. It's about being able to understand the way you approach problems while studying and how you can apply them to unknown situations, also known as exams. So, I'm going to put you onto the game-changing method here, flowcharts. Next time you're having a study session and you're just completing some maths questions, let's say you're doing a topic like quadratics. After you do a bunch of those questions, I want you to make a flowchart where you just describe the basic sequence for solving quadratic questions. For you, maybe you've got to underline keywords in the question that are helpful for you, and you'll write that as your first box in your flowchart. Then you'll say maybe I've got to draw a graph so I can visualize the quadratic. Then you'll solve it using the quadratic formula. Whatever process that is for you, I don't know. But make a flowchart of those generic steps that you can apply to absolutely any question within that topic. By writing it down, you'll be more aware of the process you're following. And by being aware, you can go into the exam and you'll just unknowingly apply that framework just because you were aware and wrote it down. It seems a bit odd at first, I'll admit that, but give it a go and I think it will be really impactful with how you approach exams and studying in general. I know with these topics there's a lot more to them and I think I'll discuss them further in more videos, but this was my first one. I hope it was alright and I hope that you found it valuable. So give those tips a go and you should see results. You should see good results. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.